So what are you looking to see in this spring game?
I mean, the defense is going to play ultra vanilla, right?
Yeah.
So there's not going to be a lot of blitzes or like stunts or anything exotic in the way that they're going to call that game. Um, I want to see something explosive in the game. I don't want it like the number one thing, is you want everybody to stay healthy. It's like when you're having a kid, the first thing every parent says is like, well, I just hope the kid's born healthy. Which yes, that is the number one. So putting aside the obvious, what do you want to see? I don't expect Jeremiah Love to play. He tweaked something in the
Right
practices.
hamstring.
Yeah, leading up to the scrimmage, so he didn't actually participate in the scrimmage. So like, I don't want to see him on the field. And if they put him on the field, one or two plays, wide receiver, that would be kind of fun because he's been doing a lot of cross training at wide receiver. But I want to see some kind of explosives. Like I want to see shots taken downfield. I want to see a more opened up playbook offensively, as far as like, ultimately, I just want to be entertained. I understand that there's, the quarterbacks. Do we know what the jersey situation is as far as the quarterbacks, as far as who's lives and who's not? I would assume Angeli is going to be red, but like Minchie, for his game to work, he's going to need to be in a live uniform. Is he going to be wearing a red uniform? I haven't seen anything to the contrary.
Oh, I haven't seen anything about that just yet, but I would imagine so. And he would probably want that as well and say like, hey, I got to go. Like if he's really got a shot, if he's really potentially number one guy, I don't see why he wouldn't wear a live uniform.
Yeah, and I would assume maybe the same with CJ Carr, but he's got the elbow thing, so I don't know if they want to play, from last year. He got the elbow thing and taking shots as a scout running the scout team. So I don't know if they want to open him up to shots too, but he's got some scoot to his game as well. So, but I would like to see Great House flash. I'd like to see some of these sophomore receivers, Saldante, Cam Williams. I'd like to see some contributions from there. And then I'm just sort of curious as far as Marcus Freeman looks at this as the ultimate exhibition for fans, and he's been on record. We talked about it last week as far as this being like, this is a cheap, affordable way for people to come and see the game, and this is really for the fans and whatnot. And I always think back to one of the things I did love about a blue gold game was when Brian Kelly let Big Lou Nix, Irish Chocolate, on the 2-point conversion. I'd like to see some more stuff like that. I'd like them to take it seriously, but then not so seriously. I'd like them to have some fun with it. I don't think that I'm going to get any answers per se, but I'd like for it to be entertaining. I think that's what I'm looking for at most. Do you have any answers that you're looking for this game, or?
Well, I will say, I think if keeping it more fun and having, some seriousness to it, but also having a fun 2-point conversion or something like that, where they can, like, feels like it's building the team up a little bit, is like, I think super important because, we see a lot of these spring games, like, dropping like flies. So I think that's part of something that can kind of ease that and keep that at bay a little bit too. Because, you don't want players to all dip and stuff before a spring game or anything like that. So I just feel like that's important too. But answers, I think we're going to see 1, 2, 3 lined up, just simply who's been the best. And I don't know how many other answers we're going to get. Maybe we'll have more clarity on the Viper position too. Talked about that last week. I think we might have just more clarity to who's comfortable and who's more versatile than the other on the defensive end. And then we're going to know exactly, like, probably who they feel is maybe the best 5 on the offensive line. But outside of that, I don't think Jeremiah Love, like you mentioned, is going to play. And then I think we're going to line up the quarterbacks based off of how they perform in the spring. And it's going to be a pretty good indicator in this game how they've been in the last couple months. Or at least there's going to be signs where it's like, okay, maybe it was CJ Carr. Okay, he didn't really dominate, but there was a drive here where he clearly has it. Like, he clearly has something. I think we're going to at least see that. And, we're going to have different expectations for some of these guys. I think the expectation for Steve Angeli is throw that ball, show us the ceiling, show us what you can do. And then with Kenny Minchie, get out there, run, show us what's different. So I think we're going to at least know a lot more about these quarterbacks, even if, they're without Jeremiah Love, and even if they're without two of the transfer wide receivers.
Is there any specific player that you're interested in seeing? Because I got one guy, not maybe, outside of the receivers, but I'm kind of interested to see Carson Hobbs.
Okay. I had Jalen Sneed and then KK Smith because I wanted to see a wide receiver outside of the main ones that we probably will have, like Faison, Greathouse, and then you got Fields and Pauling, obviously out for this spring. I think it'd be interesting for the wide receiver room. But yeah, I had Jalen Sneed, linebacker. I think he could be really interesting, just taking that next step again, transformed kind of midseason last year. And hey, is he wrecking this game? Obviously, you mentioned, the defense is going to be very vanilla, but does he have something about him this year that could be potentially different? Obviously, very up and down emotional time here at Notre Dame, but he wants to be here, and Marcus Freeman's got him. He's going to have him for another year. I'm very interested to see if he's wrecking anything in the spring.
Yeah, I like that one too. Yeah, it's tough with these, is because you set sort of an expectation for what you're going to get out of a blue gold game. And I know I've gone into previous years expecting answers and being kind of let down when no answers come. And then, there's situations like a Junior Jabby that has an all-time game and then does nothing. And then you have Deshaun Kaiser, who could not have looked possibly worse, and then comes in against Virginia and takes Notre Dame on that run. And 2015. So I
get it. Like, my expectations might be a little bit too high for the quarterbacks, but I just think when you look at the game, I just think there's going to be a part of it that's just undeniable. Like, oh my goodness. Okay, well, we clearly know somebody isn't number one. So I think
that would be if somebody really flashes, that would be a best case. Because there is something to be said for like playing a game. There are guys that are gamers. That is absolutely a thing. When there are practice players, and then as soon as the games, they just disappear. And then there are guys who might not be very good at practicing, and then the lights turn on and they're in the game and they're in front of a stadium and they just different player. So there's definitely a component to that. So how do the QBs, like, how does Kenny Minchie look in front of it's going to be a friendly stadium, but in front of, how many people we think we're going to get? Like 30,000, 35 at best, maybe 20, 25, 35,000 people. And then also, the eyes on Peacock. So there'll be people there. So, and he's almost assuredly read everything that we've read, and he knows that he's doing this media availability. He knows that the spotlight's on him. And then for Angeli and Carr, I'm not sure if the blue gold game will go in anything in deciding it, because they had all spring to look at him, as well as the scrimmage and then that. But it can't hurt if you ball out. It cannot hurt. So
yeah, balling out, that's best case scenario. Also, I agree. They've definitely probably seen some stuff. You have that kind of inner voice in your head that's telling you, hey, if I don't play like where I need to do or what I need to be at, like I might end up not playing meaningful, like super duper meaningful games for Notre Dame football ever. Like,
yeah,
or anymore.
Or in Angeli's case, ever again.
Yeah. So it's like, it's like, oh, what can I do to make sure that stops? This is supposed to be the dream. This is supposed to be how it goes. Like, I think the transfer portal kind of brings a little bit of a bad rap to some of the players. Like, no doubt, get your bag, do what you need to do, go start somewhere. But there are a lot of guys, you commit, you have bought in, or you've at least been bought to buy in.
And that was one of the things about the playoff run, is that Notre Dame was able to keep all of those guys on the roster for the playoff run. Like Penn State lost their backup quarterback right before the playoff run. I mean, if Drew Aller gets hurt, they're playing a third string.